I'd like to call the town council meeting of November 16, 2022 to order. Will you please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Alicia. Here. Alan.
Here.
Mary. Here. Steve.
Present.
Bob.
Here. Next on the agenda, we have citizen input. This is the time where we invite citizens to come forward to express any comments they may have. Name and address, please.
Mary Kay Tim, 2234 Hart Street, Dyer, Indiana. First, I'd like to thank the citizens of Dyer and introduce to you, because we're all here, the 2023 Town Council elect. Myself, Annette Ludwig, it's her first term. I should say Mary Kay Tanis, but it is Mary Kay Tanis. Mary Tanis. Not only Dyer have you made history electing 3 conservative women, but Mary Tanis is in her 4th term as an elected official for the town of Dyer. We're so proud of her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And once again, we want to thank you. We choose to serve all of you with, integrity, passion, and we're committed. So we look forward to that. And thank you so much. And unity, we got this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Any other citizen input? Moving on, I will open a public hearing for the first of 2 public hearings tonight. The first one is for the general obligation bonds. And in your packets, you will find the proof of publication for the public hearing. We'll open this up, seeking any public comment on the appropriation of the GO bonds. Second call for any public comment of the appropriation of the GO bonds. Third and final call for any public comment on the GO bonds. We'll close the public hearing on the GO bonds. I will now open the public hearing for the matter of the solid waste fee in your packets. Sorry. You will also find the notice of or proof of publication for the public hearing. We'll open it up for comments. Second call for public comment on solid waste fee. Third and final call for public comment on the solid waste fee. Hearing none, we will close the public hearing. Next up, I will be seeking a motion to approve the consent agenda to include the minutes of October 19, 2022 Town Council meeting and claims totaling $1,808,587.12.
Motion to accept the consent agenda as presented tonight.
I'll second.
I have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Mr. President, the minutes from last month where I mentioned here on the last page, I don't see any of my rebuttal mentioned. And I also know there's some mistakes here. It says it's a bipartisan board. It's a nonpartisan board. And that last sentence where it says, I sat in support with the family that has a lawsuit against Lake Central. That is not correct. It's not a family. It's a group of individuals, but I have no clue who they are.
We'd have to listen to the YouTube again and then just don't approve these minutes and send in your changes and we'll listen to the YouTube, but we do not do verbatim minutes. We always write down what the speakers at the podium say, but we don't go into verbatim.
Okay.
If you wanted to do that, you'd have to hire a court reporter.
You can always, at a subsequent meeting, have a motion to amend minutes if there's issues after re-examining the recording. But that shouldn't be a reason to prevent you from approving them as presented.
If we could amend the minutes in the future, I'm fine with that.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia. Hi. Alan,
Aye.
Mary. Aye. Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, we have a speaker, Mr. John Cannon from the Office of Attorney General Todd Rapita. Step to the podium, sir.
Sure. Thank you all. Thank you, council. Congratulations to all those that prevailed and all those that stayed, and thank you for those that did not prevail for your service. So I'm here on the behalf of the Attorney General's office. Nobody's in trouble. Everybody always worries about that. They see something from the Attorney General's office and, oh, we're in trouble. That's not the case. Excuse me. I'm here just to kind of let you know what the office does and what it can do for municipalities and for the new folks, along with your attorney. I'm sure you'll get through all the messes that'll be coming forth in the next 4 years. But if not, we have an advisory division in our office that can help the attorney and any council member with anything that may imply it may be tough for you to understand in the next 4 years that the legislators in Indianapolis sometimes don't write things clearly, but we can give you an opinion on those. So that's our advisory division. And our consumer protection division is probably one of the biggest successes for Attorney General Rokita. We are out there and trying to avoid, to teach folks and educate folks on how to avoid scams. I know our police officers and our attorneys sometimes have to deal with scams that may come before the council or before the town or even residents. And so I do have some brochures here about how to avoid a scam, and I'll leave those with the clerk treasurer or with David and for the residents. But inside of here, there are many points and such. I don't know how many of you may have done it in the last couple days or the last couple weeks. You've turned on your furnace because it switched from 70 degrees to 35 the next day. Typical Indiana weather, right? And maybe you had problems with your furnace and you may have called someone to come out and fix it, and they may have scammed you, or hopefully they didn't. But make sure you ask a lot of questions is what we're asking folks to do, and stand next to the gentleman as he's working on your furnace and make sure that he's doing actually what he's written down on the paper to do, because it's been tough for the last couple of years for some businesses, and sometimes they may want to make it up, but we don't want them to do it on your back. We'd rather have them do it on theirs, right? So, and then the other thing that our office does a great deal with is identity theft. You can contact our office and we can help you through that if you have your credit card stolen or your social security number used in something, or if you're fearful that your home has been purchased out from under you and you may not know it through a deed scam that goes on all over the state of Indiana. So I will leave those brochures as well with the treasurer's office. And last but not least, through our consumer protection is unclaimed property, indianaunclaimed.gov. There's $700 million in this fund of Indiana residents and some outside of Indiana that are due property. Last year, we got to send back $50 million, but it just keeps coming back in. So what we give back, it comes back in through sales of property or closures of bank accounts, or sometimes there's an insurance policy after someone has passed that may not get to the proper person right away. So after 3 years of trying to get it to the person, it goes into this fund, and it's required to stay there for 25 years in 1 day. And then on the 25th day, 25th year, 1 day, then the state gets the money. We've tried for 25 years to get it to somebody. So they go as small amounts as 50 cents from the BMV to $1 million piece of property in Delaware County. It's waiting actual land that is waiting for someone to claim it. So it'd be a huge celebration if we got rid of that $1 million piece of land in Delaware County, because it's been there a while. But so I was at Hobart a few months back and doing the same thing and that I'm doing, and I handed these out around ahead of time. Big mistake, because everyone was scanning this thing and trying to find their money and didn't hear a word that I said. So I kind of wait to the middle now. But one of the police officers over there was scanning it, and he found money for the police department from a grant that was not quite paid completely off. It was $1,300. So you never know. Officers, fire, and police. We suggest to the public and to you all to check this once a month, because we add 75 to 100 items a week to this program. It's nationwide, so you can go on to our site, and then it'll also take you to other states if you would like to check in, Iowa, Michigan, wherever. But Indiana's in the top 5 with the most money. As small as a state as we are, you would think that we wouldn't be in the top 5, but $700 million is there, and so see if you can claim something. You can't win that big lottery, but you might be able to get you $13 or something from the state, so that you're owed. And then another thing we do in the consumer protection side, which I would like to share with David, I'll share a link with you. We're asking if you could put we call it retail recalls, make it easy, but it's the recall list we put out once a month of items that are dangerous in the state of Indiana that are recalled. And I'll send you the link. So if you could add that to your website at some point in time, that would be great. So folks they're on your website. Oh yeah, I could check the recalls and see if I have a bad baby seat or something like that, car seat or something. Okay. And then we've had a lot of people ask us for the Indiana state constitution. So we put this together in a pocket size, not that long. You probably had to memorize it all for the bar, but for the rest of us, it's nice to see something that you don't have to go search for. So I'll leave a few of these with you as well. Kind of gives us the rights out there of what is maybe we don't know some of our rights sometimes. We also have a gun owner's bill of rights that was put out by the AG in the last couple months, right around the time that people grab those guns and start hunting. And since we are a open carry state now as of July 1st, we thought that was important. Brochures are not ready for that yet, but when they are, I can get some out to you, and you can also check that out on our website. So does anybody have any questions for me at this point?
I think Councilwoman Myers found
Sure.
$100. She wants to know if she can get that in 10s and 20s right now, or how does she?
Well, that's, please go through and claim. And state employees don't make what you all make, of course. So, I don't have hundreds with me here. One last thing that we do want to remind folks of is Medicaid fraud. Last year, we recouped $281 million in fraud just in Medicaid. The Medicaid program is ran by the state, but funded by the state and the federal government. If you know of anyone, or you have suspicion of someone that may be frauding the system, remember that money is for the needy and not the greedy. And we'd like to have you report them so we can get one of our investigators on that right away. We have thousands of investigators that some of us don't even know that's in our town probably that are out investigating these things. I was unaware that I was a former mayor of Portage, and I was unaware that we had one in our town just a couple of blocks from City Hall. That was in a small little closet that he's working there. So now I know because I work on that side of it. But so you may not know, but they work hard, and they recouped that $251 million last year, $281 million last year. And this year we're on a pace to do about $202 million, unfortunately, that we've recouped. It's just a lot of scams, a lot of things out there getting folks, unfairly gaining the system. So if you can help us with that, that'd be great. in.gov/Attorney General. You can put those anonymous to our investigators. Yes, ma'am.
One thing that is important is your parental rights manual.
Mhm.
You've been giving that out to many of the parents.
Yes, Parents' Bill of Rights. I think that people may have different opinions on certain things,
Right.
but our office put out what is legal and what is not legal, that parents' rights are. Doesn't have any slant to it other than what the Constitution says and what the legislature have said. So that is also online available. Those have gone so fast and they're gone because of election season. I think that's the reason. And we'll have some more of those as well, and I can get some of those out.
And some of the parents aren't aware,
Yes.
what their rights are and what the school's rights are. So it's a good way to check on that.
Yes, ma'am. Totally. But I'll get some of those over to David as well. We're winding down at the end of the year, so the printers are a little slow on some things, I think. But they didn't think some of these things would go as well as they have with the public. So hopefully I've answered your questions and hopefully I've helped. I will also give you all one of my cards, and please contact me. I have 13 counties and I have a lot of friends now via email because of my cards. But if you don't mind me moving away a little bit from my remarks to a funny story, if you don't mind, Mr. President. I'm south of 30, right? That's 30, so I'm just south of it. Okay, good. So this applies. So I was going to Fowler, Indiana one night, and on the way there, I stopped at a Dollar General to get a Dr. Pepper. You can tell it wasn't diet. There was a young lady there with 2 children, and she was holding a bundle of toilet paper, and I was at the just behind her in line, and she was scrambling around looking for some money. She said, this was cheaper last week. It was cheaper last week. She kept telling the lady, and the lady says, well, it went up, it went up. And I quietly said to myself, I know the reason, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway, I said, well, ma'am, I'll go ahead and pay the 96 cents that you don't have. I added it to my bill. And so I paid the 96 cents, and then I paid for my Dr. Pepper. And I noticed the lady standing over by the door waiting around with that bundle of toilet paper and these 2 small children. And she said, sir. And I said, oh, boy, I've got into it now. Now she's going to want to ride, or she's going to want something, something else. And she goes, I just want to let you know that every time my family uses this paper, we'll think of you. So what happens south of 30, it doesn't happen north of 30. When I go on the other side of 30, those people are just not that kind. So if you live in north of 30, I apologize, but I officially am south of 30. So thank you all very much for your time, and I'll leave this information with David. Is that who you prefer? Is that the best way? Okay. And then I'll get out of your hair. Well, thank you all very much, and thanks for putting up with my corny dad jokes. I get you.
Next up, under announcements, just like to remind everyone that with the Thanksgiving holiday next week, the town offices will be closed on Thursday and Friday, November 24th and 25th. Next, we have town council reports. I'd like to take mine on the top end here. I'd like to take a minute to personally thank Steve and Alicia for your service to the town of Dyer. It's our pleasure. Thank you. Politics notwithstanding, it's been a pleasure serving with both of you. I'd also like to congratulate the 9 officers who will be promoted in December. Looks like we'll have a new assistant chief, new detective commander, new patrol commander, 2 new sergeants, 2 new corporals, 2 new first class patrolmen who are just out of probation. And we just swore in a new officer last night. So lots of great things going on at the police department. So we'll start with Ward 2.
I'd also like to congratulate all the police officers and all the promotions that they're getting. And I don't want to forget about the fire department putting out our stickers with the police department. I've heard nothing but good things about, people wanting to use them. So that's good. I know that a few parents over between the BP, I forgot the name of the street, between the BP and Keenan's, there's a few parents over there that have gotten them and are very, very happy that you guys are moving forward. And hopefully you guys can move forward with the county with the bracelets. So thank you so much for all your hard work.
Thank you. We'll move to Ward 3.
I also would like to thank all the candidates that ran in this last election. It takes a lot of time, effort, and money to run. So I applaud you for putting your name out there and going for it.
Ward 4.
2 weeks ago, I attended the AIM conference, and AIM stands for Accelerating Indiana Municipalities. And it's 3 days of a lot of work, a lot of learning, talking and networking with people from all over the state. So you have a really good idea about what is going on in the state and what is happening to our neighbors to the west, because it seems like there's a housing problem here in Indiana because we have so many people moving into our state, which is really good. But it was just an invigorating time to learn about the state of Indiana and how we measure up to other places in Indiana. I learned from them. Hopefully they learned from me. And it was a great experience. And I try to go every year because it's just a wonderful week of learning about how we can serve our residents even better. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ward 5.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words, Councilman Starkey, but we still have another meeting. We can say that for our last meeting in December.
I'll repeat myself. How about
Thank
that?
you. Appreciate it, my friend. And seriously, I really enjoyed the opportunity to serve on the Dyer Town Council. It's my second time. It's a privilege that very, very few people are able to have or be accepted and elected. On that note, I'd like to congratulate the new council for 2023, and I wish you all the best. And seriously, it's really self-satisfying to know that you're helping your community and servicing them. You do it with the passion and a belief on what you're doing is right. We try to keep politics and our differences and arguments to the side and always remember that at the end of the day, it's the town of Dyer and the residents that matter first and foremost. And I really have appreciated working with everyone in Dyer and on the council. We have some of the best of the best. I travel a lot. I do a lot of traveling in Indiana and Illinois. I am proud that we snatched a great police chief out of Illinois to bring over here. Done a magnificent job, and a new fire chief that we had brought on, most excellent, doing a really, really good job. Everyone seems to be thrilled about all the new things going on. So I just want to give you a personal thank you and appreciation. Department of Public Works. In my view, my feeling, most underpaid, underrated employees that we have in the town of Dyer. They go above and beyond. When we're sleeping at home in our warm little beds, sanitary line breaks or water line, they're down in that hole. I often see them when I was driving home from work at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. working down in there while we're sleeping. You get up in the morning, turn it on, everything works. And we owe them a big thank you and our gratitude. So please pass that on. Parks, anxious to see what our young friend can do and move us into the future. What a fabulous, fabulous pick we have in our parks. And every board and commission, they do work hard. They're just an extension of the Dyer Town Council, working on our behalf. And they have done an excellent job. Dave, I'm still gonna come and talk to you.
I believe
We've done a good job picking another manager and moving on. And I'll save my last words for my friend Adam. I want to thank you. We often did not agree, but gave sound advice when needed and respectful. So I greatly appreciate that. So thank you, and thank you everybody here.
next up, quick treasurer's report.
Yes, we started our welcome bags November 1st, and we started with 25. We only have 2 left. So there's a lot of new people moving in. So we will be refilling bags. I have 2 donations. One is for the fire department of $500 at chief's discretion. And I have another one of a fireproof safe that will house all the perf for the officers that was delivered, and the total cost of that is $899.99 donation.
We
So
looking
can
for
I have a motion to
accept
accept these?
those as presented.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Town managers report.
Yes, thank you. November and December are probably the two busiest months for a town like ours with the year-end stuff and getting ready to start the year out strong. So December 2nd announcement that we are doing our holiday lighting of the town hall and tree. It'll be outside at 6 p.m. Carrying on a tradition we've done for many years. Attend, get a picture with Santa and see the lights being lit up at 6 p.m. right here at the town hall. Frank and I are completing the NERC grant for the trail extension of Penzie from Cherville to Dyer. We should have that submitted to NERC. The deadline is Friday. We're very hopeful that we are a recipient of some funds to help us get that path from Cherville over to Central Park. As you know, it's not just the funds that are holding us up, it's also the right of way with the railroad. So we'll still have some hurdles to get over once we get the funding. 30 construction, I'm not sure if you guys knew or not, but 30 was under construction for a little bit. I don't think anybody said anything too much. But it is for the time being, it is over with. They did do the ADA curb additions, which are an excellent addition to our walkway here in our Route 30 corridor. One of the additions that may not have been noticed is the push pedestrian walks at 30 and Hart. So they installed those. There's a little extra work on a couple of those days, but we will be having pedestrian assisted crossings with push buttons there at 30 and Hart. We are welcoming some third graders from Protzman high ability class on November 28th, 29th, and 30th. They asked to take their field trip here to Town Hall to see how government works. So we graciously said that we're honored to have them. So we'll be teaching them down here how the little town of Dyer works, operates, and showing them finer points of the town hall. And we're going to have some of the department heads present, police, fire, public works, parks, to tell them a little bit about what they do to keep the town moving. We're very excited for that. We have reached out to continue another tradition that has recently started, which is fireworks on Christmas Eve. And we're hoping to report back soon that it's a go. So we're just shy of being able to say it's a go, but we're in the works. That's all I have.
Thank you. Town attorney.
Sure. Regarding bonds, we had our rating pre-call meeting with Dave and Frank and Debbie and Baker Tilly, just sort of to prepare the presentation to Standard & Poor's for our rating for the bonds. After the motions today, we'll have the call with Standard & Poor's, which is set for the 21st. After that, the bonds are set to close on December 22nd. So that's the schedule going forward. Regarding pending litigation, for the Speedway property at Sheffield and 213, Speedway did not agree to appraisers. So the court has appointed them. As soon as they accept, they will have 45 days to tender the report. And then at that point, we'll know how far apart the valuations are. In the lawsuit involving Mr. Nyblom, discovery is ongoing with that. It's pending in federal court. Chief and I had some correspondence about that. Everything else remains relatively quiet.
Thank you. Department head, we'll start with Public Works.
Leaf removal services is continuing on as we are trying to get caught up. As of today, we are into Wednesday's route and we'll continue that tomorrow as well as going on to Thursday's route. So we're pretty much on schedule and we'll continue those leaf removal services into December, weather permitting. Limb removal, we had to pause it for a while, but we will start doing that as soon as Thanksgiving is over, but we'll continue that also into December. We have gotten our fleet somewhat prepped up for snow removal because again, with the snow today and yesterday, we were kind of had to do a few other things to make sure a couple vehicles were ready. But in essence, we are ready for snow removal and ice, situations on the roads. Other than that, we are in the process of getting the holiday lights on Calumet. That'll be starting tomorrow and going through that till Monday or Tuesday next week. as well as making all the prep work for the holiday decorations in the town hall. That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Parks Department?
Construction projects, Trillium property was completed last week. It was seeded and blanketed. Obviously it won't germinate this till the spring, but it looks really good. Another access point to Everly Park for residents. Central Park, we still have some punch list items. The asphalt repair is probably going to bleed into next year due to the weather. And then the splash pad back here at Elmer Miller is ready to go up for bid. We're targeting the 28th, do the short week next week. And for activities, we have the shopping spree this Saturday, the 19th from 10 to 3 at Kaler. We have about 70 vendors for that. And then we have the candy cane hunt December 4th, which is the Sunday following the town Christmas tree lighting. And that's from 2 to 3:15. They'd stage at Plum Creek, and then the hunt will actually take place here at Elmer Miller Park. And the last thing I have is I started a process inquiring about joining Monarch City USA. It's an organization that was established in 2015 to help the declining monarch butterfly population. They encourage municipalities to promote planting of milkweed and nectar plants within their boundaries. To join, we would need $50 lifetime or one-time fee and a proclamation from our governing body, which is you, and then just the purchase of signage. And what I envision is, at least from the park perspective, is when we do park improvements, having an area where we could have these milkweeds and butterfly bushes, nectar plants, and then also passing out Arbor Day, milkweed season, Arbor Day, pardon me. And that's just the initial involvement, but undoubtedly that will evolve as we progress. So that's all I got.
We would be the second community in Indiana.
Third as of now. There is one more that has done it since we last spoke.
Please.
I have to open the October numbers for the monthly report is 646 incidents, 51 arrests, 30 accidents, 294 citations, and 583 warnings. As you already know, that we will be promoting a large amount of our younger staff for the future of the police department on December 20th. I'm still working on that date with the swearing in. I'm looking forward to that. People moving forward, we are, as you said, we hired our last person that is now up to full staff. The police department's back at full staffing. In this day and age, when people are retiring at with 20 plus years on, we had a whole segment of our police department that has done that, including our town manager and a lot of people that he grew up on the job with. So we are moving forward to building the police department. It's all smooth. Everybody's where they need to be.
Thank you. Fire.
Month of October, we had 168 total calls for service, 460 hours of training. We had two more blue card communication graduates, one starting the driver operator series of classes this past month. We did CPR and stop the bleed for all of Dyer Police Department. Our staff finished our comprehensive community risk reduction curriculum, which is now implemented throughout the department. We assisted the disabled American veterans on November 12th for a boot drive. We helped them raise $1,200 on Veterans Day weekend. The state approved us hosting Fire Officer Strategy and Tactics, Instructor 1, Officer 1, Instructor 2, and Officer 2. Those will all be conducted next year in Dyer. We have 14 of our personnel taking those series of courses. From experience teaching those courses all these years, the most you'd ever see from a department is 5 or 6. So it just speaks volumes to what our staff is doing education-wise. We received an $8,500 grant from Enbridge to update and upgrade our fire hose, our crosslays for initial fire attacks. And last month, we started a comprehensive pre-plan initiative. The goal is in 13 months, which would be December of 23, to have every single commercial structure and mercantile structure, school, and the hospital pre-planned by that time.
Very much. Road projects.
Good evening. For the 2021-2 resurfacing projects, those are complete. As we mentioned last month, there's a few remaining punch list items that are being completed, and then we'll process the final pay request and close out with NDOT on that CCMG. The 2021 projects, we had some issues with the contractor completing their bacterial test for the water. And since then, they've got a schedule for paving completion next week for Schilling, Edgewood, and Sycamore as well. So that project will be completed, closed out, and processed to NDOT as well for closeout of the CCMG. The Payser and Asset Management Plan, we're reviewing that on a staff level and will be submitted in a timely manner by the 1st of December. And then for 2022-1, the reconstruction projects, which Dyer Construction is going to be completing next year, the processing of shop drawings has begun. We've gone back and forth with the contractor several times, and we expect by first of next week, all shop drawings will be substantially complete. We're doing that work as part of our design budget because we were under on that process. And I think unfortunately next year on those 2022-1 projects of Madison 214th and Magnolia, we'll have at least 2 sidewalk superintendents to assist us on those currently on the council. So any questions?
Yes, the Edgewood Schilling Sycamore project. Can we safely tell the residents it'll be done before Thanksgiving?
Absolutely. It'll be done next week.
Okay.
They
Finished, complete.
they did milling today
Okay.
and yesterday, and the intention was to pave, but according to requirements and specifications due to weather, they just could not put down that asphalt.
Okay.
So that has been pushed to first of next week.
Okay.
And then subsequent to that, we'll prepare a punch list, close that out. We'll retain their performance and labor material payment bonds through the guarantee period. So we have full ability to execute any items they choose or are unable to complete on the punch list. And then once we get the as-built, we'll deliver those to Public Works and town staff between Frank and Dave as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Time for the long list. We'll move on to ordinances and resolutions. I'll be seeking a motion to pass resolution 2022-31, a transfer of funds.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Hi. Next up, I'll be seeking a motion to pass resolution 2022-32, amendment to the personnel policy, purchasing procedures.
I'll make a motion to pass the resolution 2022-32, a resolution amending the Town of Dyer Personnel Policy and Procedure Manual.
Motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Next up, I'll be seeking a motion to pass resolution 2022-33, surplus property.
So moved.
I'll
Oh.
second.
I have a motion, a second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, I'll be seeking a motion to pass ordinance 2022-22 appropriating proceeds of the GO bond for 2022. This will be the second reading. We did first reading last week.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-22 and ordinance of the Town of Dyer appropriating the proceeds of the general obligation bonds of 2022.
I'll second the motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Be looking for a motion for ordinance 2022-26, approving the issuance of Park District bonds on first reading.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-27 on the first reading.
26.
26?
Sorry.
I'll second the motion.
26.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. I'll be seeking a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-26 on second reading.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. I'll be seeking a motion to pass ordinance 2022-27, creating of a safety board on first reading.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Nay.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Yes.
We'll have to go on to next monthly meeting.
Correct. I'll be seeking a motion for ordinance 2022-28, updating declaration of stop signs on first reading.
I'll make motion that we approve ordinance number 2022-28, updating declaration of stop signs on the first reading.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. I'll be seeking a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-28 on second reading.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Aye. Next up, I'll be seeking a motion to pass ordinance 2022-29, the 2023 salary ordinance on first reading.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Be accepting a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-29 on second reading.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Aye. Next up, I'll be seeking a motion to pass ordinance 2022-30, solid waste fee on first reading.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. I'll be entertaining a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 2022-30 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. Next up, new business. We have board and commission vacancies. In your packet. In your packet are the board and commission terms. I believe we had a resignation from the utility board. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So we can put out to advertise for that. And then for next month's meeting, town manager would, all of these individuals who are, who have terms that are expiring,
Yes.
would you mind reaching out to them to see if they are still interested in serving, and then we can discuss this at the December meeting? Does that
Absolutely.
sound
Yep.
agreeable? Item number 2. Nice engineering proposal, ward redistricting, which is what we briefly talked about in the study session. Is there there a motion to engage with Nice to do this?
I'll make a motion to, as you call it, engage with these, to approve this, to work through the town manager, David Hines, to get this accomplished.
I'll second.
I have a motion, a second, any discussion?
Briefly, the fine print is the same as all the other lease contracts. There's nothing.
Roll call, please.
Alicia,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye. That'll do it. Any and all? Entertain a motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Voice vote.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
November 16, 2022. Dyer Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. We've done the call to order, pledge of allegiance, roll call, citizen input. We have any citizen input? Hearing none? Need I need approval of the consent agenda.
Consent agenda presented tonight.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. We have new business. We don't have any new business. We have old business. We have an offer and town manager, please
Yeah.
present it.
We should have backed, we wanted to get something added to the agenda, old business, or we could have done it here. This was late today that we got an update on an offer at 2131 Hart Street that came before you guys in the past. Property owner is president. The agreement was sent to him, prepared by Attorney Cedia, and a counter offer was received back today. It's yours to take into consideration, make a counter, pass. The offer to Mr. Jacobson was $219,000. His counter offer back is $235,000. With two stipulations in here that we should be responsible for the maintenance of the parking lot and the lawn that joins the property that he will be retaining. And then also the interior LED lighting would like to be removed prior to our tearing it down. Just recently been remodeled due to some damage by Mr. Jacobson. Again, he's here before you. This came late because this literally came fresh from our conversations. And you can either act on it, absorb it, ask questions now.
If I may, the only concern I would have about assuming responsibility for maintenance of adjoining properties, if that's used for any business purposes, you will need to have that added to your notify your insurance agent about that, because there's potential liability associated with that, unless there's an indemnity agreement executed with the property owner, which I would recommend, and I would still notify your insurance carrier about that regardless.
Do we have an idea of how long we're gonna maintain this property?
So the reason the maintenance came about is because if you look at the packet there, once the building is removed, it'll be kind of a parking lot that stops right in the middle of it. So there will be snow plowing issues, also kind of future maintenance of it. So I would assume that we are going to be in this agreement, we'd be responsible for the maintenance until his property will either be obtained by somebody else or again absorbed by the town in the future as part of the comp plan. Everything up on the agreement is up for interpretation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the only reason why I was putting that in there is because, just snow removal, we were splitting the parking lot in half, so it was like, how do you do it? You know, one person had to kind of do the snow, you gotta figure out where to move it.
Jeff, have you taken a look at this? Is that,
I have not looked at it. We can. Parking lot, so I didn't manage it, so it's not.
okay?
Sure.
I will entertain a motion if we decide that we would like to accept that offer with the conditions.
I'll make a motion to accept the offer with the conditions.
I'll second that motion.
Are you going to accept the conditions as presented without any restrictions? Or another option you have is to authorize the town manager to negotiate up to and including the parameters suggested by the property owner. You have a wide variety of options here. If you want to accept it with the conditions, I would ask that the motion be amended to add to ensure that we have protections against possible liability associated with the maintenance.
Do you have an amendment to the motion?
Yeah.
There's a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, the one thing to protect the town, on my insurance policy, I would add the town as an additional insured
insured so that they would actually be insured. If there was, any problems.
Yeah, I mean, we can negotiate the details just so that there's some protection for the town. I think that would be acceptable.
Do you have an insurance agent you deal with?
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. Any and all? Hearing
I will
nothing.
give an update on, sorry.
Okay, that's
I will
okay.
give an update. We have a closing on Gatwick Street of, what was it, November?
29th,
29th.
11 a.m.
Okay,
And then, Brian Lane has also already got some, bids lined up for, removal of that house. So I think we're still on track for getting that done by December, so.
okay. And Whitehead, we're still dealing with NIPSO.
Anytime now, utilities are supposed to be
Your favorite.
disconnected, yes.
They were out there today.
With that in mind, motion for adjournment. Voice vote.
Aye.
Happy Thanksgiving.